Alright guys, welcome back. I tried turning the game sounds up a little smidgen. I've heard your cries and hopefully this will be better. Getting to game number 2 here. It is, of course, a best of 3. This is the winner's match. And spawning here in the top right corner of the map from Evil Genius, it's the red Terran player, Thorzain.
The bottom left as the blue Protoss, it is Rake.
I apparently missed a sub. I'm gonna see if there's a way I can... Does the bot have like a... I wonder if he's got a recent sub list. Probably not. That'd be too useful. But okay, so...
Don't blame the bot. Don't blame the bot.
Don't blame the bot. Alright, no, I was gonna say, guys, so we now know Rake's a Grandmaster player. He's not some random guy we found in the open brackets. Oftentimes you'll find a lot of low masters or sometimes even Diamond League players, but Rake just got, I don't know, it's kind of funny. A lot of the times, for Terran players at least, the scouting seems to be their priority in the early game, and the Protoss needs a lot more scouting later on. It was kind of a role reversal situation. Like, there was no way Rake knew that was coming, which is why he was kind of underprepared for it. If he had seen the medevac coming earlier, if that observer had been out slightly sooner, I mean, lots of little what-ifs, perhaps would have dictated better army position, you know, snipe off the medevac before it loads anything with the stalkers, overcharges in the correct locations, etc., etc. We'll see if he can make up for that in this game. Yeah.
Again, the defense in, like, the normal situation is usually you pop the cannon in the main with the Marines, you force them to lift up, and then the Hellions try and go to the natural, and you just deflect there with your actual army. You know, that is a good defense, and I think Rake was expecting that. But then, of course, you can just pick up everything and just try and attack the stalkers head on, which can also work if there's no cannon to help them out. And of course, there wasn't at the natural, so he's not gonna make that same mistake again. You know, you can almost say it was overconfidence. I think he knew it was coming as soon as he saw those 2 Hellions, but he decided to go for like the 1 gateway, like into like really fast Colossus, anyways. Like I think it was off 1 gateway. That's not. He couldn't reinforce at all. And of course the Colossus was just that little bit too late to help out.
Yeah, well, I mean, blind Colossus is kind of how we're seeing the game go right now. A lot of the whole Zealot focus got taken away with the Widowmine buff. So let's see how that goes. The sub, though, by the way, I recovered the name. It was Dougie Fresh 117. So thank you very much for that. We also have someone asking when the main stream's going to start, guys. The main stream will be beginning with Stage 2. So whether it starts early or gets delayed, that's when the main stream is scheduled to come on. So we're going to be casting the rest of Stage 1, of course, here, Part 1 and Part 2, and then I think it's about 6 hours from me mentioning this, approximately, is when the main stream will come on. Either way, we'll let you guys know. But commencing on the low ground for Thorzain, playing it pretty fast and loose over here.
So he's playing it pretty normal.
Yeah, low ground's not a big deal. You only really had it if you're super scared of like early aggression, but not quite the case. Reaper getting over here, gonna try and poke around. I did not miss first blood. Nice. Gonna get maybe his probe.
Yep. Gets out of there, no problem. Overgrowth not the best Reaper map, but it's good enough that you can usually get a decent scout in. That is the only ledge, unless you go to the back one. So, this is gonna suck.
Well, and that's one of the big things too. Like in ZVT, okay, the Reapers are used oftentimes for a bit of damage, maybe kill the Queen, at least some Lings. But for against Protoss, you need it for scouting. That's it. Bottom line, nothing else really matters. Probe kills are just icing on the cake. And as long as he doesn't lose this before the 6-minute mark, that's pretty much perfectly handled with the Reaper.
Yeah, gonna get another probe here. Maybe even the second one. No, he's making it.
Okay,
he made a mistake. Made a mistake.
Got greedy for the 3rd probe. But the thing is, he saw the robo-way coming down, or sorry, robo-facility. And that is almost enough of itself a bit of a tell. Like, you know that if this was coming down first this early, there's no way there's enough gas for Twilight Council, that there wasn't going to be a proxy Stargate. Like, he got enough of a read from this that he can play safe without knowing discernibly what the tech path is going to be.
Yeah, pretty much. He's not going to be too paranoid of anything, and then, but of course, Terrans are always sending their Marines to the mineral lines at certain timings, because even though you scout and you scout and you scout, sometimes it's like have a Stargate somewhere, and you're just like, why? Why did this happen to me when an Oracle pops in when you were least expecting it? And that is something that Thorzain did, at least last game. Made sure the Oracle wasn't going to kill him before his attack.
Well, the bunker's already down, and Thorzain's got that doubled barracks production. I really like this move, by the way. Like, it felt for a long time Jaxi was the only one who went for this combo, the 1 tech lab, 1 reactor fast, so you can get those Marines pumping if necessary for oracles. But again, for Thorzain, one of the big things was, well, I didn't see the Stargate come down first. He's fully aware there may be DTs or perhaps an oracle later on. So engineering bay completes, +1 weapons on the way, and of course turrets for once his Marines start moving them out of the base. Because you don't want to leave 6 Marines in each mineral line indefinitely. That's just a temporary solution.
Yeah, yeah. When it's time to move out, he'll figure that's the timing for an oracle that, you know, is long past. Not going to be too worried about that. But missile turret at the front is, of course, to ward off maybe DTs, but, you know, seeing as he saw the robo, he just wants to take care of the observer and maybe later DTs. Maybe help out later.
Yeah, do you remember once upon a time when, like, you would see so many weird turret placements, specifically not for DTs, but always because you're trying to catch the observer? Luciferon was always one of the favorite ones I had, because, like, on Entomb Valley, you would just see the most random missile turrets that would be the perfect for, just the most perfect ones for catching observers.
I remember losing, Protoss always losing their observer to that one turret.
Yeah, exactly.
You just put it up at the front, and they always had their observer parked over there, and, in the past few months, of course, people have just been, well, more than a few months, but it used to be back in the day, bro. You could get a free observer kill.
Alright, so we got the fast Colossus coming out. Once again, this is kind of expected.
For gateways.
That is a lot of gateways coming down, though, and we got the Twilight Council having wrapped up behind this. I can only hope and imagine it'd be for Blink to buffer for the Colossus to worry about those Vikings, but yeah. We haven't seen the odd instance where players have been going for charge first. Personally, not a fan of that, though.
Well, he hasn't gotten extended thermal lance yet, so this could still potentially be a fake. We very rarely see fake Colossus anymore. I don't know, just a build that like went out of favor. You know, the one where you only get 1 or 2 with no extended thermal lance.
Well, I think it's just extended thermal lance is expensive. You got to put it off, favoring Blink in this instance. Now, an overcharge will be nice, guys, and an overcharge will help, but quite frankly, without that extended thermal lance, one of the biggest drawbacks to Colossus is it's stuck with 6 range, same as a Marauder. If there's more Marauders in this army, Thorzain could just storm in and easily focus them down, but that's not going to be the case. It's going to be an overcharge, possibly a time warp, and a couple force fields to work through, so 1 heroic Marine will die, forces out the overcharge, and now, well, quite frankly, Rake's going to have to worry a little bit about that main.
It's a little too fast of a cannon, but
I kind of felt that too.
Yeah, really paranoid that Thorzain was probably going to stim in and try and snipe the Colossus after baiting it out just a little bit, which is possible. Again, without a thermal lance, the Marauders could take care of it.
I like this so much more out of Rake this time. He's got Stalkers on the high ground. He's going to wait for those medevacs to come in. Well, 3 Stalkers won't exactly one-shot or take care of these medevacs quickly. They'll probably kill about 1 of them before half the load finishes coming out. So the Colossus can try and move between base to base. Zealots will be the buffer that he needs. But there's only going to be 1 more overcharge beyond this. So the problem is if he overcharges the natural, we'll see double drops coming to the main and vice versa. Either way, the Colossus have got to pick where to go. And if he underreacts, he could die. If he overreacts, he could die. This is a really rough situation for Rake.
The drops are set up off to the left. Of course, the observer saw them, but Thorzain is on point. Won't let the Stalkers get free medevac kills. At this point, you just probably load him up with your main army.
Yeah, I like that stim to get out of here. Sticking around too much longer could have been deadly for Thorzain. 3rd base being taken. I mean, it's bold, but I feel kind of necessary at the same time. You got 3 Colossus. You don't want to be sitting around for too much longer, and you're not going to be spending that money on Zealots. But the army supply for Thorzain's looking pretty dandy here, guys.
It's too bad that more Marauders aren't with that army. They could probably try and snipe a Colossus.
Well, actually, Rake is having a hard time deciding how to split this. This will go for the cancel. I don't think you need to do that, but of course, you're worried about sending 1 Colossus versus 3 Marauders. They can stem on top of it. Sending the Zealots out like this was great, but there's no charge on them, so they can't really connect is the problem. And of course, all the Stalkers still in the main because he's fully aware these medevacs are waiting to go in. He's waiting to pounce.
Yeah. Scans ahead again, knows that he still can't drop, but I think it's almost like he knows that an observer is there, so he knows that he has to dedicate a couple of Stalkers, but it's like, that is a lot of your army, like, doing nothing as well, like 2 medevacs worth. If you can, like, drop off your army and just,
This is so awkward on the right side, I'm sorry, but Rake is just bleeding inside of these 3 Marauders. It's like 4 or 5 kills now.
I've never quite seen that, yeah. All the Stalkers are out of position, so he tries to go with the Vikings, doesn't actually get that much damage done on the Colossus.
Alright, Thorzain finally chased out of the base for the time being. Took his own third while this was going on. It is worth noting that while this is down, it's not quite saturated or anything yet. He's got 21 SCVs, needs to transfer here off the natural. There we go. This one of those instances actually where maybe pulling SCVs wouldn't be the worst scenario. I mean, it's...
no, it's like they would have 5 Colossus by the time you pulled SCVs right now.
Yeah, I mean,
not
like,
enough Vikings.
unless you're gonna go for the kill move, it's never a good idea. I'm just saying, like, it's that nice timing before Storm is ready. The upgrades are low. Not a good situation because of the low Viking count, but if he
yeah,
if he
it's
can
the
find some
exact same
wiggle room.
situation. I mean, you watch Shotcraft, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, dude.
Yeah,
Shotcraft.
this is like almost exactly like it. Where, you know, it was a pre-storm timing, which is usually the best time to pull SCDs, but there's just so many Colossus. Charge about the finish as well as the upgrade. Well, plus 2 weapons, anyways, for Rake. Thorzain's just a little far off. He could. Never mind. Don't do that. Never mind.
I think
That's still 2 medevacs worth of units, though. Like that's a lot of.
I kind of almost wish Thorzain would have unloaded this and just had fake medevacs
right?
there.
That's what I was getting to.
Like, leave 2 empty medevacs to draw the attention of like 8+ stalkers. Hell yes.
It's like it's better than the alternative, which is having 16 more units in there. But whatever, he's gonna try and go in here. I mean, this time there's a lot of blink stalkers. He was doing good before about making sure the blink stalkers had to be somewhere else.
Why did he overcharge?
He really expected Thorzain to push in. It wasn't because of the factory.
Alright, well, there's a lot of Vikings here, guys, and I think the stalker count might just be a little too low. The way this engagement tends to go is, of course, the Vikings will dive in for the Colossus. The stalkers are then supposed to blink underneath the Vikings,
the medevacs go down. He tried to like drop with the natural, kind of.
Oh wow!
The units go down and the medevacs as well.
Well, that also means he's now got the stalkers in the front line. Doesn't have to sit back with those like 8 missing from his army. But level 3 weapon upgrades are on the way here for Thorzain. I mean, right now upgrades are looking pretty dandy. Both players are 2-2, of course. But for Rake, once he gets that 3-3, these Colossus, they're going to be in full stride. He did finally get extended with Thermal Lance while we were kind of talking and jabbering. But yeah, that charge is going to allow him to connect with the Marauders. The Colossus is going to do a ton of damage, but I mean, he really needs to think about getting Storm after this. Wait. Is that 6 more gateways coming out behind this?
Yeah, he's really looking to put a lot
good blink forward. Good blink forward here. Thorzain going to lose a lot of these Vikings. Not enough damage for the Colossus.
But the Colossus are taking so much time getting up there. Okay, it's still going to be enough. He does lose 2 Colossus, but still with 3. Yeah, Thorzain has to get out of there. I don't think Thorzain was expecting him to stay so long on just Colossus. Like, he had already expected Ghosts. He got a Ghost Academy. It took a long time to get to a second starport to start producing 3 Vikings at a time as well. And, if he had started a lot sooner, maybe it's a different scenario.
I'm liking his constant scans. He's keeping an eye on the army because it's really dangerous. You don't know where this army needs to be, and positioning is going to be key for Thorzain. He doesn't have the Viking count to deal with this, guys. Bottom line. He has to get the most perfect spreads. A couple EMPs landed. 4 Vikings, not going to cut it versus 4 Colossus.
Yeah. He's going to have 7 by the time this May attack. But Rake has to be so careful as well, because now he's really run out of Zealots. Some Archons are finally joining the fray as well. But like a Marauder-heavy composition could possibly last through this. It's really a question of lasting through it, though, because 4 Colossus really takes stuff down fast.
Yeah, 4th base being taken out for Rake, and we finally have that Storm on the way here. So there will be a follow-up if this attack doesn't kill Thorzain. But this attack could very well kill Thorzain. As long as these Stalkers don't come too early, he pulls the SCVs, he calls the boys, however you want to phrase it. But the Colossus aren't really the threat here. If you warp in enough Zealots...
They're not attacking the main army, they were attacking SCVs.
But this is what I was talking about. Look at the Zealots, still standing strong. He just warped in another ton. He's got 12 gateways to work off of.
You could find a choke somewhere where the Zealots are getting, funneled in. You can take down a lot of supply.
There's so many Zealots, though. Look at that charge coming in. These Marauders cannot escape.
He's trying to find somewhere where it's just, like, the optimal position.
I do wish he would
Ghosts. I don't know where they went to.
I wish he would split some of these Zealots off. He didn't have to have every single one of them chasing. This is actually going to work out very poorly on the retreat.
Yeah,
but turn around, just fight, man. Blink forward, pick off the medevacs. I don't know. He's just bleeding out Why is he just giving away these free Zealots?
Waiting for the Archons to back him up. Thorzain down by 20 supply right now. That's actually not that bad in army supply because, of course, he lost a bunch of SCVs. He is on 4 command centers, and 47 SCVs. If he had like a 200.
This is fine. He's on mules, yeah.
Well, if he was on a 200 army, it would be fine. But since he's not, he's still like it's not an opportunity for you to give away SCVs and be okay with it because you have mules. He would have loved to still have those 20 SCVs mine in the 4th.
Well, going in for another attack here. This could be dangerous as he gets stuck here. There's no overcharge, there's no recall capabilities. The army will come at him from behind. The Stalker's looking forward, but the Marauders go for the Colossus. Really, it's the Archons here that are the biggest threats. Stalkers are going to take care of this army.
Army is again getting split up, though. It still probably won't matter, but Rake is consistently taking like really dangerous engagements. It's just so much stuff.
All right, game number 2 going to go to Rake. He ties up the series now 1-1 with Thorzain. And this will send us to game number 3.